welcome everybody to Abilene and to the Greyhound Hall of Fame inductee ceremony. We've had some beautiful weather. I hope everybody's enjoyed the fair weather. Nice weather. You ordered that. Bob Ryder ordered that. Thank you. At this time, if we could have the Mayor of Abilene, Dennis Weisauer, come to the stage, please. I'm going to keep this short, so I have to tell my KU story first. I was at League of Kansas Municipalities annual meeting over the weekend, and that's where we go and get some continuing education and solve all the world's problems and have a couple of adult beverages. Saturday night we were doing that, and I mentioned to the guy across this table from me that I had a cute story to tell about KU grads. He held up his hand and he said, "Wait a minute. I'll have you know that I'm 6'5", I weigh 250, and I am a KU grad. And that gentleman to your left, he's 6'7", weighs 270, and he's a KU grad. The gentleman to your right is 6'8", weighs 300, and he's a KU grad. Are you sure you want to tell that story?" I said, "Well, I don't think so. I don't want to have to explain it 3 times.
That's a tough grad.
As you can tell, I am not a KU grad. Welcome to Abilene. This is a relationship between the city and the Greyhound industry that goes back almost 85 years, and a permanent relationship that goes back 75 years. So we hope that continues into the future for many years to come. Welcome. Maybe one of these days the Kansas legislature will be as friendly to the Greyhound business as they really should be. Yeah. And we can get this thing to work. If we could have Gary Gussoni come to the stage to introduce his board.
I had 4 boys go to KU. Mayor, will you stick around and explain that joke to me? I'd like to introduce the NGA Board of Directors here with us this night. Our President, Miss Julie Ward. Julie. Vice President, Mr. Fred Fulcino. Also on our board, our retiring, outgoing Mr. Bob Ryder from and from Florida. Oh, no longer from Florida. He moved to Dallas, Georgia. That is Mr. Al Gill. And from Texas, Jay Childs. Jay. From Florida, Jimmy Blanchard. From Texas, Steve Gilster. Steve. West Virginia area Representative Lester Raines. Lester. And from out west, Mr. Melvin Johnson. Just a reminder, I think it's fun to be on the board of directors. We have a meeting at 7:30, guys, don't forget.
If we could have Juan Fran, President of the AGTOA, come up and introduce their members in here.
On behalf of the AGTOA, I'd like to welcome all you for being here and acknowledge our track representatives. From Jacksonville, we have Kelly Clark. Also from Jacksonville, Tim Lushner. From Colorado, Bill Lee. From Palm Beach, Joe Rooney. also from Palm Beach, Robert Scranton. And last but not least, Shane Bolender from Southland.
Now it's my honor to introduce the Greyhound Hall of Fame Board of Directors. Most of you know me. If you don't, I'm Tom Taplin, President.
Tommy boy!
Vice President Karen Keelan from New Hampshire. Secretary Shane Bolender from Arkansas. Tim Lesner, Jacksonville. Bill Lee, Colorado. Janet Allen, Abilene, Kansas. Jay Childs from Texas. Randy Finnegan from Arkansas. Red Ficino from Connecticut. Abilene's own Miss Julie Ward-Veal. Not present tonight on the board is Jim Gartland from West Virginia and Dan Luciano from Arizona. Now we'll get into the meat of the program. If we could have James Phillips from Greyhound Racing and Repair come up and present his awards.
Not very good at public speaking. Gary's already told me, keep it short, don't say too much. First, I'd like to say that this shirt, the shirt and tie that I'm wearing was the last gift that my beloved gave to me before she passed. And I don't know how to tie a tie very well. The first recipient of the first award is going to go to a man who has allowed me the opportunity to show what Greyhound Racing can do as far as track building goes. He has a new record of how many races have run without a single mechanical failure, and I would like to present the Golden Track Award to Maury Flynn,
Yes.
Abilene Greyhound.
And that record from May through September, we have run over 13,000 laps without a failure.
There you go.
Thanks, everybody.
And for our second award, I would like to represent to a track that, without question, before I could even advertise that I had a safety device that would save dogs' lives, and insulation for the copper that would also do the same and save human lives also. Before I could even advertise it, these guys jumped on it. They wanted to my heart is for the dogs. It's not to make money. The money's not a big deal to me. Dogs are way more important. people too. They should come in a strong second. But I would like to present this award. It's a track safety award presented to Palm Beach Kennel Club in recognition of your outstanding efforts in greyhound safety modernization. And this is going to Joe Rooney. And I would like him to come up and please accept this award. Mr. Rooney, I'm very pleased to give you this award. It is very important to me, and you guys have done excellent. You're perfect in my book. You're the best.
Thank you very much.
Robert's friend, longtime friend of mine.
And largely responsible for all those safety efforts. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's get on to our inductee ceremony. At this time, we'll see a film on P.O. Greer.
They called him the Little Man, the 63-pound, fox-eared red son of SS Gino and Colonel Vicky. P.O. Greer was named after Greer County in his home state of Oklahoma. Bred and owned by Percy and Laura Thompson, Greer would go on to dominate 3/8 stake racing from one end of the country to the other during his illustrious racing career. Racing for the Dick Moran Kennel, P.O. Greer became the undisputed king of Multnomah Greyhound Park in Oregon, capturing the track's win title 3 straight years. As a pup at Portland in 1975, he won 12 races in 21 starts, including the inaugural and the Au Revoir. He also ran third in the Derby and set a new track record for the 3/8 mile distance. Equally dangerous at both sprint and route races, Greer was a quick starter out of the box, breaking first or second in 89 of his 128 career starts. But he was also one of those rare greyhounds, blessed with the ability to sprint over the mid-distance courses, making him especially tough at the 3/8 mile events. Greer's greatest year was in 1976, when he won 20 races with 1 second in just 22 starts at Portland. Once again, he won the Multnomah Inaugural, then broke the 5/16 mile track record, as well as his own 3/8 mile record. This time around, he also won the Derby, one of 16 straight wins notched by the Little Man during that season. From there, Greer journeyed to Colorado, where he tied for the Rocky Mountain title with 8 wins in just 10 starts. Then it was on to Taunton, going undefeated in the American Derby trials, winning all 3 of his rounds by no less than 6.5 lengths. In the final, his win streak continued, Greer winning America's premier distance stake easily. His 4 victories at Taunton were by a total of 23.5 lengths. P.O. Greer was America's most outstanding greyhound in 1976, capturing the NGA's Flashy Sir Award as the year's top distance greyhound, while also finishing 5th in the Rural Route voting. The Little Man stood tallest of all as he was named captain of the All-America team. The following winter, Greer traveled to South Florida, where he ran second by just a half a length to Arkell's Gift in the prestigious Hollywoodian. Next stop was the Cloverleaf at Colorado, where he won 8 of his 15 races and shattered a 3/8 mile course record that had stood since 1963. For his swan song, Greer appropriately finished his great career at Multnomah, once again taking the Derby and the track title. His final race, September the 8th, 1977, found Greer winning by 4.5 lengths in the closing night of the season. Fans lingered for nearly 2 hours after the race to have one last chance to see and pet the most successful greyhound to ever race at the Oregon track. Once again, P.O. Greer was named to the All-America team. He finished his career with a sterling 78 wins, 14 seconds, and 12 thirds in just 128 outings. He won 58 times in his 83 distance events and sported an 84.3 in the Quinella percentage. It didn't matter where he raced, whether it was at his home track in Oregon, in Massachusetts, Florida, or Colorado. P.O. Greer was always a force to be reckoned with. They may have called him the little man, but throughout his career, no matter where he raced, P.O. Greer was a towering giant in the game. And tonight he looms larger than ever as a new inductee into the Greyhound Hall of Fame.
If we could have Jay Childs come up and present.
Accepting tonight on behalf of P.L. Greer is David Petzel.
Well, Percy and Greer both was raised within half a mile of us. And he's probably one of the fastest greyhounds I've ever seen. But Percy deserved it, and I wished he was here so I didn't have to do this. But Greer was an exceptional dog, and he comes from the Bill Woodall line, and it was good. Bill started me and started Percy both. Both of them, Percy and Greer, both deserve the award. Thank you.
If we could see the video on Kay's Broadway.
They say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. Well, for 2 years, the lights also shine bright on a certain Greyhound champion known nationwide as Kay's Broadway. Whelped in June of 1985, Kay's Broadway was a 75-pound brindle son of St. Pete stake star Nikki Finn and a fleet 70-pound female named Kay's Majorette. Broadway was owned by Jack Kahn, the colorful Florida gentleman who previously landed another of his pups, the immortal Kay's Flack, in the Greyhound Hall of Fame. Broadway broke in at Derby Lane in 1987, where he captured the Gold Trophy Puppy Stake and the Festival Stake. He also took the track win title at the St. Pete Oval with 20 wins in 31 outings. The most feared traveling stake star of his time, Kay's Broadway journeyed to Wonderland, where he finished second in the Grady Memorial. During his short time at the Boston track, Broadway broke the 5/16 track record with a 30.34 performance. He then went on to Wheeling, where he captured the Wheeling Downs Challenge. Watch Broadway in that news-making sequence of setting a track record at Wonderland from the 8 box, then soon after winning the challenge stake at Wheeling.
This summer, Kay's Broadway was tearing up the track at Wonderland. Leaving his home in St. Petersburg for a summer stakes race action in New England, Kay's Broadway took a quick liking to the Wonderland Strip as he set the 5/16 track record with a time of 30:34.
They drive into the backside, 8 on top, then 2-6, followed by the 7-4s next, 3 on the rail, then 1 well backs to 5. It is Kay's Broadway, and he has good high speed, and he is just some kind of runner, pounds the best. 2-6 battle for second.
That track record performance was one of 12 straight wins, which made Kay's Broadway the odds-on favorite in the $160,000 Sprint Championship.
And here comes Spunky. They're off. Wheeling Challenge Invitational is underway. At the break, 5/8s, 2/4s, 6-1, 3 and 7. Into the turn, Kay's Broadway takes the lead. Racing up along the rail now, Dee Nelson's closing the gap. Say racing third, 5-2-8-1-6, 3-4 and 7 on the outside last. Hayes Broadway with the lead. Dee Nelson right there, second. Say is third. Here they come into the stretch. Hayes Broadway's in front. Dee Nelson on the inside trying to get up. Hayes Broadway on top.
Steve, now that I've walked on this track for the very first time, I can see I wouldn't be able to run very well on it, but Hayes Broadway certainly has. Let's get his owner over here. And this is a gentleman that I know everyone is going to be interested to see and meet. His name is Jack Kahn. He's legendary in the Greyhound business, and what a great performance.
It's a thrill, real thrill.
In your
actually, a great deal of the credit is due to Pat Dalton, who handles the dog exceptionally well.
Let's get down here and smile for our camera, and certainly Hayes Broadway is smiling tonight. What can we say about this Greyhound?
Well, I'm glad it's over, and I'm glad that he had a bit of luck in this race. He didn't have any luck in his last 2 stake races. And I'd like to thank everybody in West Virginia for making this race possible.
Broadway's travels that year also took him to Seabrook, where he ran 4th in the Great Greyhound Race, and to Flagler, where he finished 3rd in the Flagler International. He was also a finalist in the Raynham National Juvenile. Hayes Broadway wound up snaring a rare Triple Crown of racing in 1987, being named All-America Team Captain, nabbing the NGA's Rural Rube Award as the sport's top sprinter, and capturing the National Win Championship with 42 victories for 1987. Broadway started 1988 in a similar fashion, taking the Derby Lane Inaugural, the All-Star Kennel Preview, and, for the 2nd straight year, the Festival of State Stake. Once again, he was Derby Lane's track win champ, and once again, it was with the identical record of 20 wins in 31 starts. Providing great drama that season were his duels with fellow Hall of Famer Oshkosh Racy. It was during that season that Hayes Broadway lowered the Derby Lane track record to 30.31, holding the sprint records at both Derby Lane and Wonderland Park, 2 of America's premier tracks at that time, validated the claim that he was one of the fastest greyhounds of all time. For the 2nd straight year, Hayes Broadway was named to the All-America team. During his career, Hayes Broadway posted a 65, 10, 6, and 7 record, 88 times in the money in just 94 starts, while competing in stake events at 6 different tracks in 4 different states. His career earnings as a racer totaled $162,853. Once again, tonight, the neon lights shine bright on Broadway. Hayes Broadway, that is, a member of this year's class of new Hall of Fame inductees.
If we could have Tim Lesnar come up and present from Oak Kick.
Nope. Okay, Broadway.
Hayes Broadway. Oh, Hayes Broadway, sorry.
Get him, Timmy.
Accepting for Hayes Broadway is Beck and Francis Carson.
I'm probably the only trainer who didn't win a stake race with this dog. I think I've been even trying to Seabrook, Raynham, and Wonderland. But on behalf of the people associated with Pat Dolphin, Pam, who couldn't be with us tonight from Derby Lane, members of the Can family, thank you all very, very much. Thank you very much.
Now I see the video on Mo Kick.
There's not a person in the racing game who wouldn't want a Greyhound with a little more kick. And that's exactly what New Horizon Kennel, Rico Enterprises, and the Melvin Drayton team got when a special speedster came their way a quarter century ago. How fitting that they named him none other than Mo Kick. Whelped in January of 1990, Mo Kick was a red brindle, Florida-bred son of Jig Jag Mo and Mo Silver. His incredible stake race journey at a host of different tracks around the country would extend amazingly through 4 calendar years. His quest began in 1991, and it didn't take long to see that he was at his best over the 3/8 mile courses. Watch Mo Kick wearing the green jersey of the number 4 blanket in the St. Croix Derby in Wisconsin as he embarks on his illustrious stakes career.
Here comes Wishbone. And they're off and running in the $50,000 St. Croix Derby. And number 4, as expected, Mo Kick takes the early lead. They pass the grandstand, 1 and 8 behind the leader. Then it's the 7, 2, 6 on the outside, followed by the 5 and 3. Around the clubhouse turn they go. Number 4, Mo Kick. He's still on top, and he's got a 3-length lead. Then it's 1 and 8 head-to-head behind the leader, followed by the 5, 3, 2, 6, and 7. Round the final turn they come. Number 4, Mo Kick is going to be tough to catch. Off the turn and down the home stretch. It's all number 4, Mo Kick. Late move by the 3 is number 4, Mo Kick. Racing out of the New Horizon Kennel, owned by Eric Kennan. Train to victory by J.R. Cougar, Maine.
Mo Kick went on to win 13 straight that maiden year and captured the Flagler track title with 9 wins in 15 outings. But his biggest moment, and perhaps the biggest in his entire career, would come late in the year in the Greyhound Race of Champions, staged at Orange Park Kennel Club in Jacksonville, Florida. Sweeping all 3 of his elimination rounds by a total of 14 lengths, Mo Kick drew the 3-hole for a $200,000 GROC final in late November of 1991.
All right, and they're bringing the dogs to the starting box. So, Ken, how do you see the race shaping up?
Well, Gary, speed is what gets the job done. Almost every previous winner of the Race of Champions has won by going box to wire. In that scenario, the one you really have to like is Mo Kick. However, Dickey Valley could get the job done well if he jumps to the lead like he did in round 2. He ran the fastest time of any Greyhound, a 37.18 clocking. If you're looking for a closer, look for the 4, Ramble Sam. But I'll stick with my original pick, and that is Mo Kick.
All right, Kenny, I'm going to go with number 5, Oxford Shoes, not because I'm wearing them tonight, but because the Alderson Kennel won the juvenile with Wiretex last night, and when you're hot, you're hot. And by the way, he won his last qualifying round by 5.5 lengths, but we'll know in just a minute. So pretty soon we're going to send it up to track announcer Al Emmerich, and he'll have the call of the 10th annual Greyhound Race of Champions. Ken, any last thoughts before they break from the box?
The first few strides out of the starting box usually tells the story. Watch Mo Kick. This Greyhound could beat any Greyhound out of the box. Bob's Trey, that advantageous 1 post. If there's trouble, though, the late speed factors could come on Greyhounds like Exo Sandra and Ramble Sam.
And we'll send it up now to Al Emmerich.
And they're off to the 1991 Greyhound Race of Champions. And 3, Mo Kick is right out front first. 1 follows Bob's Trey, followed by the 4 and 5 and the 8. Front side, it's Mo Kick in front. Bob's Trey in second to the 5, 4, 8. 6, 2, and 7 clubhouse turn. Bob's Trey in control with the 3, Mo Kick. Blanket to blanket. Here comes the 5. That is Oxford Shoes. Mo Kick in control now. Down the backstretch in the final turn. It's 3, 1, 5, 4, and 8. Gap to the rest of the field. Mo Kick going for the win. Here he comes. Mo Kick taking it home. Race of Champions winner.
All right, and there you have it, a sensational performance by Mo Kick, taking it from box to wire in a very competitive race with Bob.
Okay, thanks a lot, Gary. In the winner's circle here with kennel operator Melvin Drayton. Congratulations on winning the $200,000 Greyhound Race of Champions. The biggest day in your life. How do you feel right now? What's going through your mind?
Right now, it's a wonderful moment. I'd like to just make this memories of Betty Mosier. She made all this possible, and we're just happy to be here.
Okay, great. And when did you know your Greyhound had the race won?
Well, right from the box to wire. He made it real easy.
That's the kind of Greyhound he is. That's a Melvin Drayton, kennel operator for the New Horizon Kennel. Now let's throw it back over to Gary.
For his feats, Mo Kick was named captain of the 1991 All-America team. Few probably realized that the 71-pound star was just getting started. In 1992, Mo Kick finished second in the Hollywoodian, third in the Hollywoodian World Classic, and was a finalist in the Florida World. He also finished in second in a valiant effort to repeat in the Greyhound Race of Champions held at Dairyland. Once again, Mo Kick was named to the All-America team, and in addition, he captured the NGA's Flashy Sir Award as the sport's top distance greyhound of 1992. Still, there was more to come. In 1993, he again made the finals of the Hollywoodian, and soon he captured the Flagler International Classic. He joined a very elite list of champions by being named to his third All-America team. Amazingly, the classy veteran had a little Mo Kick in his tank, making the Hollywoodian final in 1994 for the third straight time and the Flagler Classic final for the second straight year. With his retirement later in 1994, he became the sport's all-time money earner, the first greyhound to win more than $300,000 in his racing career. In addition, despite constantly changing tracks and distances and competing against greyhounds of state caliber, Mo Kick charted an incredible 109 victories during his long and prosperous career. One of only 6 greyhounds to be named to 3 different All-America teams, the sport's all-time money earner at the time of his retirement, and one of the few greyhounds to win more than 100 career races, proving many times over that no one had more kick during the era of racing than the great Mo Kick himself. Congratulations to this true superstar, Mo Kick, now a recipient of the sport's ultimate honor, induction into the Greyhound Hall of Fame.
Okay, now we're ready for Tim Weston to come up and sing.
Accepting for Mo Kick is Joe True. Joe.
Melvin's son, Melvin Jr., asked me to accept this and bring this back to Miami for him and his father. We lost Melvin about 7 years ago, and his son said this will go a long way to the healing process of losing his father. To thank everybody very, very much.
If we could see the video on Granny.
When Floyd Gibson selected a pup from the December 1994 litter by Trojan Episode and Miss Athena, he decided to give her the name Granny in honor of his own mother. Little could Floyd have imagined the great success Granny, the Greyhound, would have in the sport's 3/8 stake races the next couple of years. It started in 1997 when the Red Brindle female, racing for the Robert Feathers Kennel in Colorado, captured the prestigious Timberline in Mile High. That winter, she took home 2 stakes at the Interstate Meet at Denver, the 1998 Midwinter Distance Championship, and the Interstate Derby. At Mile High that summer, Granny became the first greyhound in history, dating back to 1951, to win back-to-back Timberline stakes. This time she did it in breathtaking fashion, winning by 9.5 lengths. You'd have thought that 3 3/8 stake wins in a single year would have been plenty for any greyhound. But Granny had her sights set on even bigger prizes. Later that year, Granny journeyed to Boston to compete in the 64th annual $100,000 Wonderland Derby. Gibson's mother, for whom Granny had been named, had recently passed away, and before the final, Gibson told a reporter, "I know my mother's with us tonight, up there, and I hope she brings us some good luck." Keep your eyes on Granny, racing from the number 6 box in the final of the 1998 Wonderland Derby.
50, and they're off. Going out to the front is Granny. Jamaica Bart out running in second. Jimbo's Chelsea in third. Gwinnett is next. They pass the Wonderland Grandstand for the first time. Granny in charge. Jamaica Bart in second. Then comes Jimbo's Chelsea in third. Gwinnett is fourth. Joust is At the tail end of the field, it's Granny leading the way by 4. Jamaica Barton Quinnet, second and third. Then it's TM's Daisy. Turning for home, it's Granny. Much the best here, Granny.
As he entered the winner's circle after the race, Gibson gestured to the sky and said, "Thank you. This one's for you, Granny." Rolling the dice one more time in 1998, Granny's team accepted an invitation to the oldest of all major stakes. Contested at Lincoln, the $60,000 American Derby found Granny donned in the number 3 white blanket in the finals.
And they're off. 3 takes the lead by a half a length into the turn. 5-1-4, 6 with 2-8-7. They pass by for the first time. The 3, Granny has the lead by 2 lengths. 1 running second. 5-4, gap to the 6-8, 7th, then the 2. Around the curtain turn and racing down the backstretch to 3, Granny maintains the lead by about a length and a half. The 1, Kelso's Kingpin, is running second. The 5 is third. 4, 6, 7, 8, then 2. Around the far turn to the top of the stretch, the 3, Granny has the lead as they head for home. The 1 back about a length and a half as they race to the finish at the wire. The 3 in front, then 1.
It was truly a Granny year, as Gibson's champ, with 5 stake races at 3 different tracks, easily won the NGA's Flashy Sir Award and was named captain of the 1998 All-America team. Granny had tallied a mid-distance stake record in 1998 that few greyhounds in the entire history of the sport could match. At 4 years of age, Granny won 4 out of 5 races to start 1999. The Cloverleaf inaugural that year was contested over the 678-yard course. Perhaps it was to spotlight Granny at her favorite distance one last time. Granny won the inaugural by 8 lengths. While schooling for a 3rd Colorado Timberline stake, Granny, who'd never been injured previously in her career, suffered an ankle injury and soon after was retired. Aside from winning 7 3/8 stakes in her career, Granny compiled a 72, 27, 21, and 20 record in 201 starts. What will be most remembered, however, will be the streak of major stake wins Granny pocketed in 1998, from Mile High to Wonderland to Lincoln, in a manner that's never been replicated. Tonight, Granny is being honored with the sport's highest honor, enshrinement in the Hall of Fame. As Floyd Gibson humbly said, looking skyward following his champion's triumph in the Wonderland Derby 16 years ago, "This one's for you, Granny."
We could have Melvin Johnson come up and present for Granny.
I would like to call Floyd Gibson up to accept the award.
Never thought I'd be up here, especially for this award. Thanks to Bob Feathers for taking my dogs and running them. Thank you, Mom. And yes, she was named after my mom. All the grandkids called her Granny. And I came home to Indiana and said, I named a dog after you. She said, "You don't name me after no darn dog." But she knew. She knew. Thanks, everybody. And I appreciate it.
If we now could see the video on Cayman Wind.
He was nicknamed the Beast of the Bay. But because he was able to return to racing after an injury that required the placement of 2 screws in his hock, he was also known as the Bionic Dog. Still another moniker he carried was the Comeback Kid. No matter what you called him, there can be no denying that Cayman Went was a true fan favorite and superstar of his era. Owned and raced by Green Turtle K, the Bahama Mama crew, Came Went was a March 2001 brindle son of Snowbo and Faithful Message. Little could Francesca Field and Donna Moore have imagined they'd have another Greyhound that would rival their other Hall of Famer, talented Mr. Ripley, who etched his name into the Derby Lane record books a couple of years earlier. But Came Went was destined to do just that. Like Ripley, Came Went was dominant in both 5/16 and 3/8 mile events. In 2003, he captured the Derby Lane Matinee Idol and the Tampa Speed Classic. Prior to his injury, he also set a new track record of 30.02 at Derby Lane. It was while competing in the Derby Lane Distance Classic that Came Went sustained his hock injury. After months of recovery, he returned to the racing wars and was better than ever. Late in the year, he displayed his distance talents by capturing the Tampa Derby. For his exploits, he was named to the 2003 All-America team. But all this was just a warm-up for what would prove to be one of the greatest seasons ever recorded by any Greyhound at Derby Lane. It was a season in which Came Went virtually swept all the big-name stake events at the historic Florida Oval.
Straight up and head for home. Came Went, Glenn Garson. Came Went wins the St. Pete Inaugural. He's back. Came Went wins the Matinee Idol. Came Went wins the Night of Stars feature. The stretch, Came Went wins the T.L. Weaver Memorial.
Perhaps his chief highlight of that season came in the 2004 Derby Lane Sprint Classic. Watch Came Went racing from the number 7 box in the final of the Classic.
Through open racing in the Sprint Classic. At the break, it's a 7-2, 1-4, 5, 6, 8, and 3. Around the first turn they go. Came Went the leader. W.W. Applejack's right there second. The 4 is Fuzzy's Cannon. It's 7-2, 4, 3, 1, and 8. Came Went draws away. W.W. Applejacks Flying Newport. 7, 2, and 3. Came Went wins the Sprint Classic.
Competing in other sprint stakes that season, Came Went would win the St. Pete Inaugural, the T.L. Weaver Memorial, the Night of the Stars, and the Sweetheart Feature. He also became the only Greyhound to repeat as champion in the Derby Lane Matinee Idol. Moving his act over to the backside at St. Pete, Came Went didn't miss a beat. Keep your eye on the Beast of the Bay, once again wearing the number 7 jersey as he tries to become only the second Greyhound in history to win both the Derby Lane Sprint and Distance Classics in the same season.
Through open racing in the Distance Classic. At the break, it's a 1-5, 7, 4, 8, 2, 3, and 6. Past the grandstand the first time. Gray's Carjacker the leader. The 5 is Oshkosh Drifter. There goes Came Went to the lead. It's 7, 5, 1, 2, 4, and 8. The rush down the back stretch. Came Went now draws away. Oshkosh Drifter second. The 2 is Colt Dragoon third. 7, 5, and 2. They'll swing for home. Came Went, Oshkosh Drifter, the true comeback kid. Came Went wins the Distance Classic.
Came Went's 36 victories in just 43 starts in 2004 set a new season win record at Derby Lane. He also tacked up a 13-race and a 16-race win streak. For his unparalleled season, Came Went swept all 3 of the sport's major honors in 2004. The Rural Rube Award, the Flashy Sir Award, and captain of the All-America team. Prior to that, only one other Greyhound, Dominator in 2000, had accomplished that remarkable feat. The Bionic Dog, the Comeback Kid, the Beast of the Bay, whatever you called him, Came Went was a true champion. And now we can add one more name to describe this special star, Greyhound Hall of Famer. Tonight, the sport salutes you, Came Went, on receiving the sport's highest honor.
If we could have Vera Rasnick come up and present for Came Went, please.
By the way, I gave him all those nicknames. what a Greyhound he was, and Donna Moore will be coming up to accept. Come on, Donna. No tears.
I'm sorry, the video just kind of got me going a little bit. It's a real honor to be standing up here accepting this for him, being inducted in such a great Greyhounds. Bo, I know if you're up there, buddy, this is yours. Thanks for all the memories.
Very nice videos. I'd like to thank Gary Guccione. He writes all the scripts, puts all the videos together, gets it all sent off to be put together, does an outstanding job. I tell you, I seen a lot of blasts from the past there that everybody in here recognized people and dogs and heard dogs' names on them. You know, it was very, very nice. Thank you, Gary. A few other folks we need to thank is I'd like to thank the staff here at the Hall of Fame, Kathy, our director, our new employee Carlina, and Warren, our maintenance man. I believe is the best we've ever had. Thank you, guys. I thought I was lost yesterday. I went to get the grill upstairs and I walked down that ramp, and I don't know if any of you ever seen down there, and I had to turn around and look. Am I in the right place? It's never been that clean. So thank you very much, guys. You're doing a great job. We need to thank Janet Allen, Brenda, and Julie for all the work you do back there, and Janet's staff does a great job with the bar and the food. Thank you. Pretty excited to announce we're going to start a new section in the Hall of Fame. We're going to have a Pioneer Trainers section. So be thinking of your nominees. So that will start taking effect next year. So be thinking of guys in the past or ladies in the past, and let's get some. It will be on a kiosk deal like the Pioneers is now. We're pretty excited about that as a board. So. And don't forget, you know, a lot of these dogs have been gone for a while, and we'd like to thank Jay Childs he did a lot of research on these. These dogs were all very deserving to be here. You know, the process for being a Hall of Famer or a Pioneer is it takes somebody to write a letter and present it. So if you have somebody you'd like to try to get into the Hall of Fame or into the Pioneer or into the Trainer deal, you know, get a letter wrote. So that's what this is all about. Okay, guys, the Greyhound Hall of Fame, you know, started as a dream many years ago. It's now our responsibility to keep it going. Together we have done that. I would like to invite everybody to join the Hall of Fame Club and to donate and attend the benefit auction. I'd like to thank everybody that donates to it, people putting money out there in the gift shop. It doesn't, you know, it takes quite a bit to run a building of this size, and it's yours. So help take care of it, and I believe that's all I have. Enjoy the rest of your time in Abilene, and we will see you in the spring. Happy racing. One thing before you go, everybody needs to thank the Southland people, Shane Bolander and company, for the new audio system and new video systems.